T minus 30 seconds. T minus 20 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Fuck you, Westport! Damn Westport going to lead! Damn Westport going to lead!
Hey everybody, Chad Westport here, and we are back with another edition of Just One Thing. That's where I go out into the grow community and talk with experienced growers about just one thing they think all new growers should know about. And today I've got a very special guest, someone who helped me out tremendously as a new grower, and I'm sure thousands of you too. He is the author of grow books like this one, Cannabis. Ooh, maybe I should, there we go. Cannabis, A Beginner's Guide to Growing Marijuana. He is the editor at Northeast Leaf, host of the Grow Bud Yourself podcast, and former senior cultivation editor at High Times, Mr. Danny Danko. How are you doing today?
I'm great, Chad. Thank you for having me, and I truly appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure. It's a huge honor, but let's get to the growers out there. You know, the whole concept of the show is just kind of sharing one thing they think all new growers should know about. What is your just one thing you think new growers should know?
Well, I think they should know that growing should be fun. It's something you should be able to enjoy, and it's all about enhancing the experience. That's what cannabis is about for me, and what Dr. Lester Grinspan said. It enhances experiences. For those of us that aren't using it for specific medicinal purpose, even though we all are in a way, but it's partly really just an enhancement. And so it should be fun. And it should be something you enjoy. There's going to be trials and tribulations, of course. I mean, ups and downs and all the issues. Everybody has had the pests and the molds and the diseases and all of that. So, you know, I just think that a lot of people get away from that, particularly when they scale up, when they go big. And I know a lot of the people I know who scaled up, either they're, they dread going in every day because it's just such a colossal thing that they're dealing with. And so much work, or they've scaled back and they've got back because the happiest growers I know are the ones with just a few tents and one for their moms, maybe a vegging area with clones and vegging plants and a flowering space. And those are the self-sufficient ones because they take cuttings off the moms, and they can plant seeds for new stuff or whatever. They can grow whatever they want. They can fill up jars in their cupboard of all different varieties and share and give away and trade and really just kind of seemingly for me the happiest people, and they grow the best quality. I mean, if you're a connoisseur like I am, and you've judged all the cannabis cups and all the different events out there, there's a lot of overfed boof out there. I mean, a lot. I would say 99.9% of commercially available cannabis, I mean, is not up to par with something you can produce for pennies inside, or outside, preferably. So, I mean, that's the thing. If you are scaling up, I would say the only way to really compete at a higher level is to do it in a regenerative way, using, everything you can do to improve your soil health, living soil, sun grown, or greenhouse growing, using cover crops, no-till. All of those things are things that you can do on a larger scale if you're going to go big. But like I said, and that's the only way to compete at scale anyway. But like I said, the happiest growers to me, the ones I meet, that are the ones that just have their setup. It might be bigger than just a few tents, but it's not too hard to handle or too difficult to manage. And they can have their experimental area, and they have their production area. And, that's to me, the benefit of everything being legal. I mean, obviously there's the drawbacks of the taxes and overregulation and the BS with all, who gets the licenses and who doesn't get the licenses and all of that. But I envision a future, hopefully not too far from now, where, because home grow is becoming more and more prevalent, we'll have a farmer's market kind of situation, which some places already do. I've seen this in Michigan. I've seen this all over, really, Maine, where growers, smaller scale growers get together and share their goods and put their goods out there for sale at a reasonable price. I would say that's the stuff that's worth over $150 or $200 an ounce. You know what I mean? Whereas the stuff in the dispensary, you shouldn't be paying prohibition era based pricing, like $60 an eighth. That's ridiculous for what you're getting that's grown at such large scale. There's just economically and sustainability wise and everything else points to large scale being more regenerative and all of that, and being all about living soil and all, and growing year round if you can, in a greenhouse where you've got light deprivation and light supplementation, and you can heat it in the winter or cool it in the summer. I mean, that's, to me, the way to go, and less inputs, less bottled nutrients, less everything. That also sequesters carbon in the soil and helps with fixing carbon and climate change and things like that. So but really, going back to the main thing, it should be fun, and if it's not enjoyable and fun, and then you find yourself out there on the internet getting into arguments with people about this or that or the other thing, and it's like,
Stupid, yeah.
just smoke a joint and get outside and take a hike and enjoy cannabis. It's an enhancement to life. It's an enhancement. It's something that's, I met so many people, as you have too, that it saved their lives. And they replaced their harsher vices, such as, whether it even be tobacco or alcohol, pills, opiates, whatever it was, with cannabis, and it enhanced their life. It extended their life and made it more enjoyable. So, and growing does that too. And there's no better feeling than growing something that you created out of thin air. I mean, I always say this, but I call it modern day alchemy. You're turning light, air, food, and water into something that's worth its weight in gold, for me at least, when it's that precious. And I'll think of all the things you have left over, the trim that you can make hash out of, the stems you can do stuff with, and you can make butter and topicals and oils, and there's so much cool stuff you can not have to buy or pay for just by having a few tenths in your garage or in your attic or basement, and or going bigger outside. I just, the fun and the enjoyment needs to be part of it, because I grew when it was really scary, and there was a lot of fear, and you don't have to have that now if you live in a place that allows you to, even if it's 6 plants or 12 plants, whatever it is. I mean, listen, there's the limit is on the amount of plants, but not the size of the plants. So veg them out longer, give them, more root, more fruit. So give them a nice big container. Nothing wrong with even growing in a bed inside a tent. And having those cover crops and things. It's tougher to do living soil inside, I will say that. So for the beginner, keep it simple. Start with just hand watering plants in a soilless mix of some kind that that's nice and light and airy. But really just plant a seed, get a plant going and try to keep it alive, and then you'll at least understand where it starts, and you can basically take it from there until you're harvesting every few months and filling up some jars and really just enhancing your experiences and growing what could be considered the best cannabis on earth.
This has been fun. Speaking of fun, you have touched on so many like important aspects that do relate to fun. You mentioned kind of trying to do less inputs and growing more naturally, and the fun. Healthy people have more fun. So the healthier your plants are, the funner it is. It's one thing that never even crossed my mind was the social aspect, which is completely fun. Taking your special jar out to the meetup and then just letting people sample that. Like that's such a huge underrated aspect, particularly of home growers. Like you said, we kind of have the ability to focus on quality, and that in itself is fun too.
Yeah, and we can't let that go away. So even if you're not a home grower, as a consumer, and even if you're never going to plant a plant, or it's way too much trouble or work, as a consumer, that's what you want to buy. If you're a real true connoisseur, if you're an aficionado, or even a medical patient, and you want a healthier alternative to something that's been grown with PGRs, for instance, plant growth regulators, something that's been grown with pesticides, fungicides, and things that could be harmful, things that are meant for ornamentals, not for
Mm-hmm.
inhaling and consumption. I mean, I just think, you got to vote with your pocketbook. And if you really care, truly, if you're a true believer and you really care and you want the highest quality, and I'm not trying to be a snob about it either. I mean,
No.
if all you want is a gummy and a vape pen, that's fine. Then there's places you can go and get that. But if you want the highest quality flour, and you want to create the highest quality of solventless concentrates, you want to seek out the living soil. You want to purchase stuff that's grown with love, and with people, by people that are having fun
Yeah.
and enjoying their experience, because it all ties together, for the you're going to get the best out of your product. I don't mean the highest yield, but
Mm-hmm.
the most quality, the most essential oils, the most cannabinoids and terpenoids and flavonoids, and all of it that makes it burn the best, makes it taste the best, and really brings out the quality of whatever it is that you're growing, and at the highest quality. And if you get great genetics, you can grow some fantastic cannabis, for pennies to the dollar at home, or purchase it from people who are doing it, and keep that thing going, keep the kind bud alive. Um, that's and have fun doing it.
Absolutely. That's so awesome. This is so I'm I grew up in Seattle. I'm a musician, audio engineer by trade. Nirvana was one of my favorite bands. And one of the things that blew my mind about them was the Nirvana, the MTV Unplugged, which was filmed in New York City. They were the first band to ever do that show in one take. And you, sir, are the first guest to ever do this in just one take, no edits, no stops, straight from the head. This has been great. I want to let people know where to find you as well. Pretty dang easy. Just type his name into Google. But on Instagram, at Danny Dan KOHT. And leafmagazine.com is where you'll find the Northeast Leaf, and growbudyourself.com for the podcast and everybody. These will be down in the show notes too. But Danny, I would love look at that right there.
Yeah,
What do you got? What is that?
this is just a nice little strawberry cough, cutting that, I rooted. I'm gonna turn into a nice mom. Shout out to Kyle Cushman, and one of my favorite strains, and back in the fold, and
Yeah.
just enjoying the enhancing experience of cultivating my own cannabis. As everyone should, if they're allowed to, you know what I mean? Like, be careful and know what your laws are, but have fun, because it wasn't always as fun as it can be now.
This is true. This is true. And did I miss anything? Was there any, I always actually like to give guests the final words. Was there anything else that you wanted to toss in there, or anywhere else that you wanted to make people aware that they can find you at?
Yeah, I mean, just the usual spots like you mentioned. Instagram is Danny Danko HT, Twitter, Facebook, Threads. I don't know, I'm out there. But yeah, I mean, growbudyourself.com has the podcast. We're up to, I think, something like 118 episodes of Grow Bud Yourself, which has been a lot of fun, doing that. And the book, like you said, and you know, I'm out there also teaching home grow classes here in the New York area. If anybody wants me in their area and you know, wants to put something like that together, I'm game for that kind of thing as well. And just had some fun out in Michigan at the Legacy Michigan event.
Nice, yeah.
That was a lot of fun. And yeah, man, just you know, coming up on harvest season. Everybody get back in the garden and get to work.
Yes, and expect those emails of "Is it ready yet?" to start flowing in.
Yeah, yeah. But remember the joy and the fun.
Absolutely,
Keep that
100%.
close. Keep that close. You know,
Cool.
what the plant gives, what you give to the plant the plant gives back to you.
Yeah, it's a passion, man. It's definitely a passion. It's a way of life, and when you enjoy it, it's a better way of life. So thank you so much for your time, everybody out there. Thanks for watching today. We will have more episodes coming up soon. And remember, until the next time, everybody, party on. Sweet.
Fuck you, Westport!